Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Allie and this is Allie G Reads and I am doing my June wrap up. Yay! This is like a little bit late. I tried to get it out before the first, but in my original recorded video, I just felt like I was it was like a little nonsensical and I just didn't have a clear head at the time, so I'm restarting it. I feel better, so I have more clear head, so yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Go get the other one. I read 12 books. So one was an audio. So I'll start with the audio first. I got a short story collection from Daphne du Maurier. It's The Birds and Don't Look Now. I didn't read The Birds because, to be honest, I just didn't feel like it. So I read, oh my God, Don't Look Now. This is actually narrated by Peter Capaldi. He is an English actor, and he was like the last Doctor from Doctor Who. So I love this movie, so I was really curious about the adaptation and how faithful it was to the original source material, and it was quite faithful. They're actually both equally good. I gave this a 4-star. I really, really, really enjoyed this. And the ending just grips the same way as it did the first time I saw the movie. So 4-star, highly recommend. The audiobook is done very, very, very well. First book I'm going to talk about is The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson. This is the only book that he's wrote to date. This has been on my shelf for years, literal years, like since I worked at a bookstore. This has been on the shelf and I just never got to it, and then I decided to get to it. Essentially, we are following a man who is a porn star, and he was in a car accident which burned everything, like almost killed him. And he spends a lot of time in this book in the burn unit. Actually, the burn unit descriptions are very graphic, just a heads up. And then this other patient in the like psych portion of the hospital. Her name is Marianne Engel. Marianne Engel. Engel, of course, in German is angel. And she begins to tell him that they actually know each other and that they've spent many lives together. So she starts telling him about their path and past lives and destiny, etc. I gave this a 3-star. I think the vast majority of people will like it. I really liked a lot of it. I love the German mysticism exploration because you don't ever hear too much about German mysticism anymore. A lot of their lives were spent in Germany, and then it also is in like Italy and Switzerland, I believe. So you have a lot of European history, which I really liked. You have a lot of stories about gargoyles, which I really liked. For me, it just didn't get that like love rating because I got sick and tired of her cryptic riddles, and I just wanted her to tell the fucking story. And I know that was the point of it, but it dragged. After a while, I stopped tabbing it because I stopped caring and I stopped liking it. So 3-star. This next book I had such high hopes for. A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. This book is a like feminist horror. Not horrifying though, just FYI. This is basically about a woman, and she is a food critic, and she is currently writing this from prison for murder. And then she goes on, this is like her manifesto, and she tells us why she's here, what she did, why she was killing people, and it just goes from there. I tapped off a lot. I really liked a lot of quotes in here. I really liked a lot of like what they said about females committing crimes, especially murder. Like it's treated differently from when men commit crimes and murders. So I really liked this, I liked that the character was just very unapologetic in a way, and she's like a complete sociopath. However, for such a short book, it felt like it dragged. So I had a lot of pacing issues, and then I was bored, and I never want to be bored in a book. I did get bored. I really just wanted it to end before the end, and that sucks. So I gave it a 2-star. Okay, made my way through some erotic fiction this month. There's quite a bit on here. So I read Savage Vow. This is the first in an Ivanov crime family trilogy by Zoe Blake. I'm getting a lot of these from TikTok, by the way. I am part Russian, so this did appeal to me. It's a beautiful romantic Russian poem which helped inspire this book, but this book is not romantic at all. So I find that kind of odd. But anyway, this is a girl, and she is sold by her parents to the Ivanov crime family's eldest son. And then she doesn't want this life, so she runs away, and then he catches her, and it's like their escapades to marriage, basically. I gave this 3-star. I actually really liked it. It was my favorite. In these kind of like steamy books, I tab off where the steamy scenes starts. So there was quite a few for how short this book was. It was pretty good. Again, the character was kind of like, the female was kind of driving me nuts after a while. Like, I was like, girl, just give up. Just stop. But that was my only gripe with this. I do have the second one. I just haven't read it yet. Okay. I was really looking forward to this. This is a classic, and it was written in 1959. This is The Tin Drum by Günter Grass. It's translated from German, although it does take place in Danzig, which I believe is and was part of Poland at the time. I didn't rate this book because I honestly don't know how to rate this book. I know I didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it, but I don't know where in the middle I fall, which is why I don't feel right in giving this a rating. This is basically, takes place after World War II, and we have a very unreliable narrator, and he is Oscar, and he is a dwarf, and he is in a mental institution telling this story. This is disturbing in an unsettling way. There are some graphic depictions of things that happened. This is one of the best unreliable narrator books I have ever read, and I love a good unreliable narrator, and I will say that this is probably one of the best because you're not entirely sure where you lie with Oscar. You don't know if you like him, you feel horrible for him, or you hate him. You're rooting for him, and then at some point he turns into the villain. And then you're questioning your stance on what point of view you're reading. Are you reading from a protagonist or an antagonist? So I thought that was very clever. Apparently the author is questionable, but that's besides the point. I was under the impression, I wasn't sure if he was in the institution because of the trauma of the war, and the fact that he's unreliable is him telling stories to deal with the stuff he's seen, or if he's just a really horrible person. So that's all I'm going to say about this. I do think a lot of people will enjoy this, and I do think it is definitely worth the read, especially if you want to read like classics. And I think this is a very prominent work of translated fiction. So do with that what you will. More erotic fiction. I have 3 here. I have, these are all by Katie Roberts. These are the first 3 in the Wicked Villains series. What makes these unique is that they are Disney villain stories. She wrote something in, I think, the first one. Yes, her dedication is to everyone out there who prefers the villains to the heroes. And I do love that. And I do love that these are takes on Disney stories. So the first one is Desperate Measures. This is about Jasmine and Jafar. The second one is Learn My Lesson. This is a throuple. Meg, Hercules, and Hades. And then Worthy Opponent is Tinkerbell and Hook going against Peter Pan. And side note, Peter Pan, I'm pretty sure, is actually the villain in the story. But that's a whole other discussion video. I like these. They're quite steamy. I've marked off quite a few pages. So if you are into that, you will like these. I like the second one the best, personally. But all of these actually intertwine. So I think they are very actually well written. They're interesting, they're short, they're fast. And again, me getting into this genre, as I said in a previous video, is just something I don't have to think about. So these were really like fun, fast reads for me to get through. And that's probably the reason I was able to read 12 books this month. Oh, sorry, my rating. 3, 4, and 3. This next book is Odd. This is going to be hard to talk about without like rambling nonsensically, because this book is nonsensical in many ways. The Scapegoat by Sarah Davies. Now, if you like cryptic type of writing, this is the book for you. I'm going to give you somewhat of a description of what this is about. I'm just going to read a piece from the flap because I do not know how to describe this, so I'm letting the book tell you what it's about. N is employed at a prestigious California university where he has distinguished himself as an aloof and somewhat eccentric presence. But his meticulous ordered life is knocked off kilter when his estranged father dies unexpectedly and, as it increasingly seems to N, under murky circumstances. N's investigation leads him to a hotel built over a former Spanish mission, a site with a dark power and secrets all its own. Meanwhile, a shadowy group of fringe academics surfaces in connection with his father's death. As he comes closer to the heart of the mystery, his ability to distinguish between delusion and reality begins to erode, and he is forced to confront disturbing truths about himself. Is he an author of his own investigation, or is he the unwitting puppet of a larger conspiracy? I did not rate this because I do not know how I feel about it. So again, same with Tinderum. I don't think it's fair. I didn't love it, obviously, but I also didn't hate it. So I don't know where in the middle I lie. I don't entirely know. I don't think I know what happened conclusively in this book. I feel very confused after reading it. And it is so cryptic that I don't really know my thoughts and conclusions, but I believe that was the intention of the way she wrote this. It's not long, but it is also not a one-sitting book. I did not finish this in one sitting. So I think if you're into that type of writing and this sounds intriguing to you, pick it up and give it a shot. I'd love to know what you thought about the conclusions because I have no fucking idea. So, no rating, but do with that what you will. Last 3 books here are like my top of June. So I have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the first in a series. I thought it was a trilogy, but apparently another one's coming. This is technically erotic fiction, I think, but it's more than that, which is what made this a 4-star for me. This is a retelling of the Greek mythology of Hades and Persephone. There are also other characters in here, like Zeus is in this, Demeter, Hermes, and Hecate, and a couple others. So there are others entangled, but this is about Persephone, and she's not quite, like, she is a goddess, but she's not quite realized her powers yet. So she's going to, like, she's under disguise, and she's going to university with mortals. So she wants to get this university degree, etc., etc. And yeah. And then she ends up going to this nightclub that Hades owns, and he is in the business of making bargains. So he makes a bargain with her, and she has to create life in the underworld. So she's going back and forth between, yeah, etc., etc. I thought this was actually surprisingly well written. I did not think I would like this as much. I did not think that I would like the characters as much. The characters were incredibly fleshed out. I could sympathize with both of the characters. And I like that it gave you a very understanding villain, which I liked. So I have the next two. I just have not started them yet, but I'm really actually looking forward to it because I really did like this. I gave it a 4-star. I'm hoping that the series holds up as well because I really, really, really do love these characters and I want to see what happens to them. I finally read The Maidens. This was so good. I give this a 4-star. I had actually a few 4 stars, so I'm really impressed by how the month went. But this is by Alex Michaelides. This is the author that wrote The Silent Patient. I love The Silent Patient, and it also stood at a 4-star. So he is a very strong author right now. I can't wait to read more of what he does. This is about a woman, and she goes to Cambridge University, where she used to go, but her niece is now studying there. And there has been a murder, and they are convinced that the professor of Greek tragedies is the one that committed this. And there's like a secret society going on, and this was really good. There is about 3 or 4 twists. I guessed one, I'm not gonna lie, which kind of like disappointed me, but I did not see the others coming. I think if you liked Silent Patient, you will automatically like this. Like the writing is similar, the twists are good, and there's another really surprising thing in here that I did not see it all coming. So 4-star. I think, again, if you like The Silent Patient, you will definitely like this one. This is a great follow-up. And last but not least, I don't entirely know how to describe this book either. The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I am so happy I finally read this. I wish I annotated it. I might reread, but holy crap. It's hefty. I'll admit the first 100 pages kind of drag, and then there's a section in the middle that kind of drags as well. But the last 100 pages are mind-blowing. So this, we follow a character who wakes up in a body that is not his, and he does not know where he is, but he is at this manor, and he has, with like 50 people, and he has to figure out what's going on. So the only thing I'm going to say about this, and I'm going to describe it in a way that I think is more simple. By the way, this has about 4 twists. I didn't see any of them coming. No, I didn't see any of them coming. There was one thing that I was like, I think I kind of like get it. The ending is similar to a Black Mirror episode, but I won't say what one because I don't want you to know anything. This is kind of like reading a board game. So we have a character who has 8 bodies he can use, and he gets 1 day in each body to solve the mystery of Evelyn Hardcastle's death. And he has, once he solves the murder, he has to tell a plague doctor who's like roaming around and giving him the rules, and he keeps popping up. He has to tell him at the end of every night who did it. If he doesn't, he has to start again. There are 2 other people playing this game as well. And And there is a footman running around trying to figure out what host he is in and trying to kill him and kill his other hosts off so he does not solve the crime. 4 stars, but honestly, I think the more I think about it, by the end of the year, it might be an all-time favorite. It was amazing. Don't sleep on this book. And that's it. I'm super actually impressed by how this went. So I had a really good month. 12 books is like a huge amount of books for me. So yes, I have more coming. So sorry for this being late, but please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you've read any or if you have thoughts about any. I would love to hear, or any recommendations you have of a book that's similar to any of these, please let me know. I don't have an exit. Bye.